Okay, now we're going to do a motion tween. Action script 3.0, and you want to make sure that your stage size is 1280 by 720. You want 12 frames per second, and turn on autosave to make sure that it does not interrupt you while you're working. And say OK. Now I'm going to fit in window. File and save. Make sure you have it going to the correct folder. And you want to save this one as 06 tutorial. With your initials, FLA. Select the rectangle tool, go to the properties, select a stroke of nothing and a fill of a blue. And I like 0066FF. In the upper right corner of the stage, you want to draw a rectangle. Get your selection arrow and select that rectangle. And now use the Align Info to set the size. And we're going to set the size for width to 200 and height to 175. You want the X value and the Y value to be 30. And that's the location in space, X and Y, and the width and height is the actual proportions. In the timeline, at the bottom of the stage, you want to go down to frame 24, click, and press F5 to add a range of frames. Right-click and create Motion Tween. Now, whenever you use a motion tween, Flash will alert you you are creating a symbol. So, do you want to convert and create a tween? Okay. Now you could go in here in your library and you could rename this at this point. This would help keep track of things. If you want to tween something and you know you're going to tween it, it's always a good idea to make it into a symbol and name it first. But if you're in the middle of doing something, it is also a good idea to go into your library and rename the symbol, or it will just have a number and it'll be very difficult to figure out which one is which. Look at your layer in the timeline. Motion tweens are colored blue. Classic tweens are colored purple. And shape tweens are colored green. This is the way you can tell what kind of tween you have. On the stage, click on the rectangle, hold Shift, and drag it across to the right side of the stage. So Command S and then Command Return so you can see what the result of that is. Now let's add a new layer and we'll lock layer 1. And on layer 2, go to frame 1 and select the oval tool. For the fill, you're going to select red FF0000. In the lower right of the frame, you want to draw a circle. So hold on Shift and draw a circle and select that with your selection tool. Come up to the Align Info and you want to make sure that that's 175 by 175 and you want to set the X coordinate to 1000 and the Y coordinate to 500. Now click on frame 24 and F6 to duplicate the keyframe. And now you want to, while it is still selected, use Align to set the position again. Align info, and you want to now set the X coordinate to 30 and leave the Y coordinate where it is. So now you have frame 1, it's over here, frame 24, it's on the other side. Now come to the middle and right click and create Classic Tween. Now if you look in the library, you'll see that it has changed the circle into tweens. So I'm going to rename them circles so I know which one is which. So a classic tween is purple. The motion tween is blue, and the classic tween is purple and has a line that shows you that it is tweening. So let's lock that layer and Command Save. Tweens of any kind require a separate layer. Only one moving object per layer. If you try to put anything on a tween layer, even in a separate range of frames, it will interfere with the tween. You can use library symbols and use F8 to change any selection to a symbol to hold many layers of tweens and images, and this will help organize your main timeline and keep things simpler. Classic tweening requires 2 keyframes and positions before you set the tween. Now you can also choose classic tweening, but it will not be a complete tween. It will show, instead of an arrow with a straight line, it'll have an arrow with a dotted line. That means I need more keyframes. And you can add a new keyframe in that range of frames. But be aware that if it is a classic tween, it needs to have another keyframe before it can calculate the move.